Hello Sugar Gliders, welcome back to the channel. I thought we'd do a little deep dive today into the internet topic of black cat versus golden retriever. And I feel like my whole channel revolves around trying to work out what men want. This is definitely the first time I've talked about this. I don't think I've ever talked about black cat, golden retriever. And I think first of all, for a lot of people, you won't be online as much as I am, and you won't know what the hell I'm talking about. But basically, first thing is, let's look at the definitions so we're all on the same page. So, the terms black cat and golden retriever are used to describe contrasting personality types popularised on social media to represent a dynamic where one person is reserved and mysterious, that's the black cat, while the other is outgoing and affectionate, apparently for a relationship to work. And obviously take this with a pinch of salt, because half the stuff I listen to about relationships I don't actually agree in. But apparently for a relationship to work, you need one individual to be the black cat, and you need one person to take on the golden retriever dynamic. And apparently the black cat represents a more introverted, mysterious and independent personality, which can be aloof or sarcastic on the surface, but maybe more loyal and deep on the inside. And first of all, wow, it's as if the internet just described my whole personality. And obviously, I think I'm the black cat, hence the outfit today. And I generally did try to dress up as a black cat, but there weren't any black cat costumes in the town that I live in. I didn't want to just buy some tat off Amazon, basically. So I think I'm the black cat in the dynamics that I'm in. And then there's the golden retriever. And apparently you need the golden retriever to balance it out, according to the internet. And the golden retriever embodies a extroverted, energetic and cheerful demeanour. They are friendly, loyal, and often the sunshine of the pairing, according to this Reddit theory. So obviously it's a Reddit theory. I thought we could just talk about it because I obviously feel that I am a black cat. Like I've told you before, I suppose I am quite an introverted person. Obviously I do this on camera, but I am quite an introverted person. I am comfortable spending loads of time alone. I don't really need a lot of social interaction. I'm one of these people, if I have too much social interaction, it actually drains me. I prefer to be alone quite a lot of the time. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why I haven't really consciously sought out relationship to relationship. It's because I can be alone quite a lot of the time. And in the same way as you think of a cat, if a cat doesn't want to be played with, a cat will let you know. A cat will start screaming and it will just physically start trying to wriggle away from you. Cats only come to you when they want attention, basically. Whereas if you think of the golden retriever, it's completely opposite. It's man's best friend. They want to be around that person all the time. And it's a completely different dynamic. It's difficult. I generally believe that, if I'm being honest deep down, all men are looking for the golden retriever. I think, obviously this is just my opinion, it's not fact or science. I think the majority of men are looking for a golden retriever. A lot of men are looking for that woman that continually pours into them to the point of depletion. And I was watching something recently by Elizabeth Gilbert, and she's obviously got a new book coming out. And because I changed my channel name, but I tend to get recommended a lot of Eat, Pray, Love stuff still. And she talks about how women generally lose in marriage. And let's be honest, for men, marriage is a net gain. And I know people talk on the internet about men gets married, then the woman takes all their money and I'm living in a studio and all of that. And I know there is that aspect. But for a lot of women, they lose in marriage. They have to give up their career and then obviously having children, and the dynamic changes. And this is what I kind of think. If I meet someone, the dynamic will change. I won't be able to do this full time. It will be a choice. It's the choice that all women have to make. All women have to make the choice of, what do I want? Do I want a career or do I want to be a mum? You realistically can't be both. Or if you do have both, then sadly, unpopular take, then you're doing a half-assed version of one or the other. Whereas for a man only really gains from marriage. He gets constant support. He gets sex on a more regular basis than he would get when he was single, and then children, etc. And men still don't have to take on the majority of the household chores, of bringing up the children. That realistically always falls down to the women, and it's going to. It's always going to be the women picking up the slack. And this is why women don't want to get married these days, because obviously, you know, we need two incomes these days. Why would a woman want to work all day in a job she hates, then spend the time looking after the children, then she's got to take all the children to the after school clubs, do all the cooking, do all the cleaning, and then it gets to 10 o'clock and then her husband's rubbing up against her, and that's like the last thing she wants to do, because she's been exhausted all day looking after everyone else. And I think sadly this is why men want the golden retriever. They want the woman that will literally pour into them, dedicate their whole life for them. And this is not what I am. I'm not the golden retriever. I've always been focused on what I want, and this is the choice of modern women. And this is why there's so much pressure on women to marry well, because if you don't marry well, you're going to be a doormat. And that's an unpopular take, but for a lot of women these days, they feel like a doormat. They feel like they have to do everything. This is why the men pick the golden retrievers, because they give them everything they need. They give them the constant support, they pour into them. What man's not going to want that? This is what I ultimately feel. For all these women that watch those videos of how to get a high value man, etc., you do know that the high value men want the golden retrievers. They are looking for the women that don't have their own career. They don't have their own shit going on. They want someone that can look after them and push forward their brand, their career. They don't want someone like me that has their career. They want someone that's going to mould to them. And, you know, like I said before, the build a bear, the build a man. That's why I think you have to be, if you want a man like that, you have to be a certain type of woman. You have to be the people pleaser woman. You have to be the person that, I don't know, I kind of, in a way, maybe it's not kind, but I kind of see these women as doormats. These women that just spend their whole life building a man's brand. I know it's mean, but I look down at them. That's when I realised that I don't want to be that kind of woman. I don't want to be that kind of woman that's just build a bear, building a man's brand. That's when I realised, for me, I wanted my own brand. And even if it wasn't as successful, I wanted something that was mine. I wanted something that I could sit down at the end of the night and think, this is mine. And I think sadly with the black cat energy, I think men like it in terms of having an affair. They like it in terms of this woman is sexy or exotic, or she offers that kind of excitement that I don't get in my marriage. But I think deep down, they don't want a black cat. They don't want someone like that. They want that golden retriever energy. They want that person he knows always going to be at their side. And, you know, maybe that's not wrong. Maybe that's normal. And maybe that's what men want. And I've always struggled to give that golden retriever energy to a man because, like I said in my last video, I don't feel safe. A lot of the time, I don't feel safe around men because I feel that if I give myself to a man like that, they're just going to pull the rug up from under me and I don't feel safe. And the examples they were using of black cat, golden retriever were Zendaya with Tom Holland, and they were also giving the example of Angelina Jolie. If you look at Angelina Jolie, what's happened to her now? I think she's on her own. And it's because she's the black cat energy. Do you remember when the internet used to pit, no pun intended, Angelina against Jennifer? And they used to say that Jennifer Aniston was this golden retriever energy. And then they said that Angelina was the black cat energy, basically. And people painted Jennifer a certain way. But then obviously now she's coming out and saying that she really wanted kids and she couldn't because there were fertility issues in the marriage. I remember she got so much shit for that. And what happened, Brad was with Jennifer and then he decided to switch, have the black cat energy of Angelina. And then what happened? He ultimately got tired of that. And then what's he done now? He's gone back to a golden retriever. I don't know who he's with now. Some unknown woman. I don't know. I don't follow these people too much. I think sadly that's what I think men want. And I think also, is this not just a avoidant, anxious dynamic? Is the black cat not just the avoidant person? And the golden retriever is the continually anxious person wanting love. And when some people are really anxious, they will literally do anything for love and they won't have any boundaries and they'll just do anything to be loved. Is it just not this push-pull of the black cat is avoidant and the golden retriever is really anxious and no insecure? And is it generally a toxic relationship? And that's obviously, I know it's not really real. People come up with these theories, but I think it's kind of interesting to work out how what we're told in modern media of what a relationship should be is the black cat, golden retriever. And it has to be, if you look at this theory on the internet, the black cat always has to be the woman and the man has to be the golden retriever. And there always has to be this pull of the man wanting the woman more, etc. It's never the other way around. If the man is the black cat and the woman is the golden retriever continually chasing the man, it just doesn't work as a dynamic because it's ultimately a chasing dynamic. Shall we talk about our favourite internet throuple recently? I know, I swore I'd never talk about these people again. I think it will really help you understand the dynamic because when I thought about these two people, I was thinking, okay, which one is the black cat? Which one is the black cat? Is it Alana? Is it Vi? And at first I was like, well, Vilana's obviously the black cat. But then when I thought about it, I thought, no, Vilana is the golden retriever. She's the one continually pouring into Aubrey, helping Aubrey with his brand, with Fit for Service. She is the golden retriever. She is constantly giving to Aubrey, giving Aubrey what he wants. And ultimately, what has he done? He's gone and picked the black cat. It's Alana that is the black cat. Alana is the one which is the mysterious one, the one that doesn't really say anything, the one that's quiet. And that's what Aubrey's picked because he obviously likes the both dynamics of both women. He obviously likes the fiery, dark feminine of Vilana being like the feisty one. He obviously likes that. But there's also something in Aubrey where he craves the light feminine. He craves the sweetness, the innocence. I know it's disgusting. He craves that in Alana. And this is the thing with men, not just Aubrey, because Aubrey's an adult, Aubrey can do what he wants. But I think that's what men crave deep down, is they just want everything. They want the fieriness of a woman, they want the sweetness of a woman. They ultimately want someone that's in the middle. And I think even though we're talking about black cat, golden retriever, as a feminine woman, it's best to be somewhere in the middle. It's best to be, yeah, you have that feisty side to you, but you also have that sweet side. I was thinking of this analogy the other day. It's really helpful if you've been hurt by men a lot, which a lot of women have. And if you think of the analogy of a heart, so if you think of the heart, if the heart is completely open all the time, you'll just bleed out and you'll die. And that's basically what a golden retriever is. A golden retriever just gives. And in the end, it's going to burn out the relationship because you're just giving too much. And then if you think of a black cat's closed off. Black cat doesn't give anything to anyone. Black cat's closed off. Black cat's like, I don't need a man. I don't need a man to help me. I can pay my own bills. I don't need a man. That's black cat. That's completely closed off. And you don't want to be that either. That's ultimately not what men want. Men don't want women that are completely closed off like that. Men want someone that is reciprocal. If you think of the heart, it's like a valve and it opens and closes. And you have to learn, as you get older, when to open your heart, let people in. As you use more discernment as you get older, then when people around you, you're not feeling their energy, close your heart and then bring it closer to you. And this is definitely what I've learned as I got older, because basically my 20s were like this. My 20s were heart open, trusting every man, thinking that every man that wanted to have sex with me wanted a relationship, because I was obviously young and I hadn't learnt about what men are like. And my 20s were like that. And then I realised in my 30s that my heart was like this. And I just swung too far the other way. And for my 30s, my heart's been so closed off, not let anyone in, just do my channel. And then now, it's only now that I realise I have to let people in. You can't be the black cat, you can't be the golden retriever. You have to be somewhere in the middle. This kind of leeway somewhere in the middle. That's what ultimately men want. Anyway, take care. Have a nice day. See you soon.